You can't find peace. They're in your mind all the time. But why? Why is this still happening? You're not with them anymore. And everyone is saying to you, well, you're not with this person anymore. Just move on. Stop thinking about them. But it's not as simple as that, is it? And then by the time you realize, hours have passed by. How do you know if the narcissist is still in your head? Like, how do you know? How is it that they're still getting to you? We're going to talk about this in the video. Hello and welcome back. I hope that you're all doing really well. So how do you know that the narcissist is still in your head? You've probably left, it's probably gone, it's been and done, and they might have even moved on. Probably they have. And you're thinking to yourself, well, it's been a substantial amount of time. Why am I still thinking about them? Why is this still going on? Why are they still in my mind? Now, these are the things that I'm going to be talking about in this video, because so many of us, please know that you are not alone, because so many of us do end up doing this. And there's a few reasons why this actually happens. So I'm going to talk about this in the video, but you just spend so much time overthinking, and then when you catch yourself, so much time has gone, it might even be that you might even be behaving like them, and you're thinking, this isn't me, why is this happening? So yeah, I'm going to talk about this in the video. So rumination, overthinking, thinking, why this, why that, probably to do with a trauma bond, probably trying to figure it out in your head. All the lies, you're trying to sift through what was lies, what was real, what was fantasy, did they even mean that? How can you be with someone and they don't even love you? This is a thing, okay? And please know that it's only in these abusive, narcissistic relationships do you end up feeling like this, do you end up thinking like this, because you're constantly trying to piece together in your mind what was real, what wasn't, why did they say this? If you had done this or said this, then maybe this wouldn't have happened. And it's almost like you're driving yourself kind of crazy, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And it's very easy for me to sit here and say, yeah, just don't do that. But it's not about that, is it? It's not about just telling you to stop thinking about it. What I want to do in this video is I want to kind of expose all of this, why this is happening, because I feel like if you have all the information and you know what is going on, why you're doing it, then it will be easier for you to move on, for you to kind of move past this stage. Now, please know that you're not the only one that this has happened to. So many of us do get stuck in this stage. And I feel like one of the hardest things to get past is, and have the understanding and clarification, is that this person wasn't who they said they were. You know, it's really hard because we get to know this person at the beginning of the relationship in this way. And during the course of the time, as we go on in this relationship, this person changes, but this person changes phenomenally. It's not just this little change, it is a huge, huge change. And when someone is not who they have shown to be, it makes it very difficult to kind of comprehend this in our head. You know, because first impressions do matter. First impressions are a thing. And so when you know this person, when you get to know them, there's this wonderful person that you feel they are your soulmate. They are everything that you have wanted someone to be. And believe me, they mold themselves into that thing that you want this person to be, because they want you to fall for them. They want you to trust them so that you let your guard down and they can manipulate you. This is one of this is the tactic that they use. This is them all over. So it's very hard to understand that actually this person isn't who they said they were. This is not the person that was who they presented to be at the beginning. And what you have to understand here is that it's not a normal part of a relationship. It's not actually a very healthy part of the relationship, because this person shows you somebody that isn't real, that isn't who they actually authentically are. And so your brain finds it very difficult to try and understand that this person isn't that. Now, for a lot of you, this is where you become stuck. This is where you become kind of overthinking, trying to understand that actually, why has this happened? What's going on? You see, for the best part of it, you know, this person told you what you wanted to hear. And I'm really sorry to say that, I know that's raw, but this person told you what you wanted to hear. They would have watched you, they would have studied you, they would have understood body language, the way that you communicate. They would have understood your triggers, and what they have done is they have manipulated that so that you fall for this person. The reason why they do this is because they want to gain your trust. They want you to fall for them and for you to believe in them, for you to accept them as they are. Because this is something that never happened for the narcissist when they were kids. All right, in childhood, like their parents didn't accept them for who they are. So what they did is they then changed who they are. They changed, it's almost like they've had an emotional breakdown to try and change who they are so that their parents accept them. And it's because they want their parents' approval, acceptance. Now, if this is learnt so early on in childhood, this was never corrected, this was never changed. This is why then when they go into adulthood, they just repeat the same behaviors. They repeat the same thing. So that's what they're doing. They want to get your approval. They want you to fall in love with them. They want you to accept them as they are, which is why they then relax into this partnership, into this relationship. Then they are who they have always been. This maladaptive person that wants to get emotional validation from you all the time. It's because of this childhood wound of abandonment and not feeling accepted, not feeling being part of something. So you spend a lot of time trying to figure out what is going on, why they have said this. And this is the overthinking. This is the rumination. And this is why you spend so much time trying to figure out whether they've said this or they've said that, whether that was true. But actually, you're never going to get to the truth. You're never going to really understand this, because this isn't something that you have been through. This isn't something that you are ever going to really be able to decode, because it is so maladaptive. This is the labyrinth inside the narcissist's mind. This is how they think. This is what they do. So them saying something is because you wanted to hear it at the time. Doesn't mean that it's true. Maybe parts of it is true at certain points of your relationship, but what are you going to do? Drive yourself crazy trying to figure out what was a lie, what wasn't? It is what it is. And that's how you've got to think. It's not going to change whether you spend an hour today and 6 hours tomorrow trying to figure it out. You're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to put the dots together. But what you have to understand, that this person did this because of their own dysfunctional self. This is ego process. They're so in their ego that actually they had to do this. They had to be like this. The other thing that I wanted to say is that when you start to overthink, when you start to ruminate over this, you might even catch yourself behaving like them. Because you have spent so much time with the narcissist, because you have spent so much energy trying to kind of mold. I mean, they're calling it, I mean, they do it because it's enmeshment, which is what their parents have done to them. You spend a lot of time, you know, watching them, studying them, trying to understand them. And the reason why you do that is because you're in a relationship with them and because they enmesh you within them. And so, you know, you might even find yourself behaving like them, you know, using the same kind of thought processes as they did, which also, guys, is so maladaptive, because the way that they have behaved, the way that they approach situations, it's from a completely different perspective to us. You know, they don't read the room. They don't read social cues the same way me or you do. So you've got to understand, where do you end and then the narcissist begins, or where does the narcissist end and you begin? It's like you have to find new ways of being, new ways of understanding yourself, which is really, really important, that you connect back to yourself and try and separate yourself from this person. I understand that a lot of you will be in the trauma bond, which means that you will be trying to stop thinking about them, trying to kind of gain your own identity. But this is the enmeshment, energetically, psychologically, and emotionally. This is the enmeshment that you feel to the narcissist, which what I'm trying to say is you try and separate yourself. I understand that being in a relationship, it's the glue that binds you together. But with a narcissist, it is super glue that binds you to them. And you see, this is because it's abusive. This only happens within narcissistic and toxic relationships. So really what you have to understand is that the trauma bond is a part, or it is a product of the abuse. So this is why it's really important to stop ruminating and overthinking about the narcissist and why this happened, why that happened, were they lying, were they not, and start to bring the focus back onto you, because you, like I said, you're not going to be able to figure it out. You'll start behaving like them, you start thinking like them, even though they're not in your life, because you are still in that energy thinking about them. Psychologically, you kind of are still, you're still with them, because your energy and your time is spent thinking about them. So what I'm saying is take that power back, take that energy and that time back and put it back onto you, and give that time back to you, because that is what is important here. Because if the more time that you spend away from yourself, not understanding yourself, not connecting to yourself, you know, you will be thinking like them, you will be behaving like them. And you know that that isn't authentically you. That isn't who you are. And this is how you know that the narcissist is still in your head. Because you're going to be wishing that they contact you. You're going to be wishing that they hoover you. You're going to be wondering what the hell they are doing. It's going to drive you crazy because you're thinking that they're with somebody else. But that's the thing, my friends. It is all orchestrated like that so that you do that. So this is how the narcissist will still regain power over you. They will still have that hold over you. And you don't want that. You want freedom from this experience. You want freedom from what has happened. I understand that you want clarification. You want closure. But that isn't something that you're going to get from this narcissist. It's not going to happen, because they're not going to give you an explanation. They don't want to hold themselves accountable for what happened. And they're not going to take responsibility for what has happened, because they know at some point they're going to come back, because they want to come back and abuse you again. And they want to get emotional validation from you. So why shoot yourself in the foot when you don't need to give clarity? You just come back. This is why they do it. So if you find yourself that this narcissist lives in your head, remember to put the focus and the energy back on yourself, because you are the most important. You are the one that matters in this. You are not going to find the answers overthinking and ruminating about this situation. You will find the answers deep within yourself. This person is not well. It's not okay for what they have done. And we can't turn back the clock. We can't go back in the past, because it is what it is. But what we can do is learn from it, change our now and our future. And that is the way that you have to think about it, my friends, because it is going to drive you mad. It really will, because you're going to try and come to some sort of understanding or conclusion, but it's not going to happen. So guys, if you are struggling with this at the moment, please know that I do offer one-to-one consultations. Please see the description box below. I also have a journal club and a mentorship, and if you would like to join, please see the description box below. And also I do have a Discord server where you can join a really supportive community. If you would like to join, and it's completely free, please see the description box below. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.